Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really hope you're all doing okay and having a great day and an amazing week. My name is Effy and today we're doing our second full face of Makeup Revolution. If you haven't seen my video yesterday or the day before, basically I bought everything I wanted off the Makeup Revolution website and now we're testing it all out. Tomorrow's video will be another first impressions. Friday's video will be talking about all the products I bought because obviously I can't test all of them and I'd like to give my opinions on the ones I have tested and also my thoughts on the ones I haven't. And then Saturday's video is me going through everything that is Makeup Revolution that I already owned in my collection and giving you my opinions on those. To sort of address the obvious, I'm moving house. But yeah, that's why my background looks so boring, but let's go on with it because I have 3 videos to film and I need to be over at the new place in a few hours, so let's get on with it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I normally put up 2 videos a week. This week I'm doing Makeup Revolution week, so it's all things Makeup Revolution. And I'm doing 1 video every day, Monday through to Saturday, but normally it's 2 videos a week and it's always makeup related. So if that sounds like your type of thing, then this is the place for you and I would be very happy to have you as a subscriber. But anyway, let's get on with it. So we're going to start with our eyes and I have the Makeup Revolution Ultimate Base Eye Primer in the shade Light. I typically quite like eye primers that have a bit of a base to them, so I'm hoping I'm going to like this. It's obviously meant to be a dupe of like the P. Louise. I've never tried the P. Louise, but I know that it's quite high coverage, so I'm just going to start with that tiny little amount. That actually spread out really nicely. It has given me a good blanked out eyelid, which I really like. However, what I will say is my eyelid looks a little bit dry and textured, which I'm not the biggest fan of, and it's not something I typically realise. I never really get that. I've never noticed it before with any other eye primer, but I think this is just maybe a bit of a dry eye primer, like it doesn't feel very sticky or anything like that. So I'm a little bit thrown off by that. But I don't think it's bad. I mean, hopefully it will still work. We'll see how eyeshadow sits on top of it. And the eyeshadow palette we are going to test today is the Revolution Passion Fruit Fire Shadow Palette. I had my eyes on this when it first launched. Honestly, I don't even know when. It's just a little 9-pan palette, but it's so cute. I will say, I think this dark shade here, I can't tell if it's a shimmer or not. I wouldn't use it as a shimmer. And this shimmer up here doesn't look very interesting. The one in the middle looks fine. I will do some swatches. Obviously I can't swatch shades that I'm not going to use because I don't know what I'm going to use. But we're obviously going to do the purple. Not bad. We're going to do Lost and Wild Side. So I just did the 3 centre ones, but they are nice. Yeah, they look quite nice actually. They look quite pigmented. We're going to start with this shade here, which I'm still not convinced is a matte, but it is going to be used as one, and that is the shade Passion. Yeah, I'd say it looks like a matte. Let's crack on. That actually worked really nicely. I did have to dip into it a little bit, and I don't know whether that's because the eye primer is quite dry or the product is a little bit dry and not quite as... It's definitely pigmented. I don't know, maybe the eye primer is just throwing it off a little bit, which is fine. It came out really nicely. I would say it looks like a matte on my eyes. Maybe it's got a little bit of a sheen, but not one that's really noticeable, so I'm pretty okay with it. Next, I'm going in with the shade Wild Side, and actually now that I've swatched it, it kind of looks like it has a bit of a sheen to it too. Why have they done this? But yeah, let's go in with this one. And that's gone on quite pigmented. It's blended relatively well with the other shade before it, but I do think I have a little like patch where it's just not sticking or not sticking properly. And I think it's the eye primer, if I'm being completely honest. I think I don't like this eye primer because it just isn't working as well as I would like. But also, even if I don't like this eye primer for this bright, intense look, what I will say is I think it would work fine if you're just doing like a neutral, subtle eye with like a lot of shimmer on the lid. I think it would work fine for that. I will try that and let you know if it works for that at some point, but that's my thoughts on it so far. The next shade I'm going in with is Peach Bellini. This one definitely looks matte, so I feel a little bit better about it. That one went on really nicely and it does look really pretty and it's blended out those other shades really nicely. What I will say is now that I have a matte shade on my lid, I think it's a bit more obvious that the other 2 shades weren't completely matte, and I'm starting to wonder if maybe that little patch where it's not sticking properly is actually a dry patch on my eyelid from the eye primer that the shimmer is emphasising. So like I said, I'm hoping that it would work fine if I was just doing like a neutral brown smoky eye sort of situation, because I wouldn't have a shimmer that high up on my lid if I were doing that. And then the final shade I'm going to go in with is Kombucha Kiss, which is a lovely peachy shade. I think these sort of like peachy reds and these browns I'm going to get a lot of use out of. I actually really like that. Again, blended out the other shade really nicely. I think the mattes in this palette are actually working really well, so I'm pretty happy with them. And now I'm going to go in with the shimmer, and then I'll give my thoughts on the palette, go off, do the other eye. All on normal stuff. Obviously I'm using the purple, I have to. I might use the shade Full Glam on my inner corner, but this is the shade Flirt, and this is going all over my lid. I actually think that looks quite nice. It's worked pretty well. I have said before, Revolution shimmers just aren't my jam. I like something that is super glittery and sparkly and just gives off loads of little specks of glitter. This is better than a lot of their shimmer shades, but it is still sort of that like metallic-y sheen instead of a sparkly glitter. But I'm also going to put a little bit of that Full Glam shade just on my inner corner just to see how it looks. Oh, that's actually really pretty. That's such like a pop of super pale pinky champagne that I love. I did say I was going to go off camera and do the other eye, but actually I forgot about this. This is the Eye Glisten Foil and Glitter Liquid Eyeshadow. Does it have a shade name? No. But it's the pinky one, and I'm obviously using the glitter side. I don't know how much use I'd get out of the sheen side. I will swatch it for you, but I don't know how much use I'd get out of this. Ooh. That's actually really nice. That would be really good for like the inner corner or as a base to a shimmer eyeshadow. And then the glittery end that I'm going to use today, let's swatch that as well. That actually looks really nice. Okay, let's put it on my eyelid. That's just added the tiniest little pop of glitter, but what I will say is, even though this is the glitter side and the other side is the sheeny side, this is still more of a sheen, in my opinion, than like a glitter, just because I want glitter, and this is sort of still just giving a bit of a sheen. I think maybe it has, like, for me, a tiny bit too much of a base colour to it. I prefer them to be quite like transparent on the base and just be glitter when I'm using liquid glitters. But this will definitely still get used in my collection, and I think I will actually use the sheeny side, probably just as a base for another shimmer, but that's fine with me. Okay, now I'm going to go off camera and do the other eye. I will see you in a moment, and I'm going to charge my battery while I do it. Eyes are done, we're looking more even. Thoughts on the eye primer first. I'm going to do thoughts as we go, not at the end, because otherwise I'll talk too long. Eye primer, not a big fan of at the moment. I do think I can make it work. It does blank out your lid really well. It's just a little bit dry. If you suffer with quite dry eyelids, I know that is a thing, this isn't for you, okay? If you maybe suffer from quite like oily eyelids, this might work really well. I think my eyelids are pretty normal. The rest of my skin is pretty normal, so I don't see why my eyelids would be any different. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this at the moment, but like I said, I think for every day when I'm doing just like neutral eyeshadow, and I'm doing predominantly matte eyeshadow with just a little bit of shimmer, I think this could work pretty well. I'll give it a test, maybe in a future video, maybe on Instagram, maybe on TikTok, and let you guys know. The eyeshadow palette I actually really quite like. The last shade I used, Kombucha Kiss, is a little bit powdery, so I just blew off the dust there. I wish these two shades were 100% matte, because I don't think they are. And oh, you can't really see the patch where I was having issues anymore. The two shimmers I like, they're fine. They're better than normal Revolution shimmers, in my opinion, but I have better shimmers in my collection. But I do like this palette. I think it's super cute, super fun. I will get use out of it. I will use these shades as well, because they're sort of like neutrally shades. I really quite like that. That's a cute little palette. And then the eye glisten thing, I actually quite like. I don't love it. I have other liquid glitters that I like. I maybe don't have one in a pinky shade, so maybe this will get used a decent amount actually. But yeah, it's not my favourite. I would consider picking it up in other colours. Yeah, I'm not against that. So yeah, kind of 50-50 on that one. Base, And we're starting with the Relove by Revolution Power Fix Primer Lasting Prep. I have used their H2O one of these and I actually really quite like it. Ooh, I wasn't expecting that. It's come out as a white cream. I don't know why, I was sort of expecting it to be like the e.l.f. Power Grip and come out as like a coloured gel. It smells of watermelon, I think. It is quite a strong smell. It doesn't bother me. I quite like the smell of watermelon. It does have a little bit of a tack to it. It feels pretty fine. I can still smell it. If you are not a scent person, if you're allergic to artificial scents or anything like that, give it a skip. I don't mind it. So yeah, I quite like that. Next up, foundation. The Conceal and Hydrate foundation. I got this in shade F3. Normally I get F2, but I think it's a bit too light for me. And I think F3 is actually a bit too pink for me, but we're carrying on with it anyway. I've never tried this. I'm just going to use a sponge. I sometimes test stuff with a brush, but I realised I never use a brush for my makeup, really. So I'm just going to use a sponge. Oh, that's very liquidy. Very, very liquidy. Okay, let's... Maybe this would be better, and I know you're not meant to do it, but maybe this would be better if you just pumped it straight onto your face, because I feel like my sponge absorbed most of that. I quite like it. I think the shade is slightly off. I actually, funnily enough, think this shade is slightly too dark for me. So maybe F2 would have been the correct shade. I also think maybe it's a bit too peachy. I think it looks relatively passable on camera, but in real life it maybe looks a little bit too peachy for me. I have quite a neutral undertone. I don't hate this, but I do think it's emphasising my texture. And again, that's not really something I notice with other foundations. I think it looks fine on camera. I am using natural lighting, there's no artificial lighting on me at the moment. But yeah, I just think, like, I don't typically have issues with makeup settling into things like smile lines or frown lines, probably because I keep my face pretty deadpan most of the day. But I feel like if a foundation were to settle into my smile lines, it would be this one. I just get that vibe from it. Now, I am actually a little bit worried about this product because I've never tried anything like it before. This is the Revolution Eye Bright Illuminating Under Eye Concealer with Vitamin C in the shade Light, and it's one of the ones with the sponge. And I've never tried these because I hate the idea of putting that wet concealer covered sponge back in the lid. I just can't, because my beauty sponge, I wash it before every use with like face wash and soap. So I don't know, am I meant to just twist this? Oh, I don't like the look of it. The idea of putting this on my face, I don't know why. I don't know why. I know I use doe foots and they touch my face and go back in the thing. I don't know why, but this just... Okay. Okay, this isn't too bad. This isn't too bad. I don't know why I'm getting so stressed about it. I feel like I'm twisting it up a lot. And if this is the shade Light, it's not very light. I feel like it's actually darker than my foundation. I have to... Don't like that. Yeah, this isn't light. You can... I think you can still see it on camera that this is quite dark. But let's just see what it has. Annoyingly, I actually quite like that. It doesn't have tons of coverage. But I have mentioned in videos before, I'm not somebody, and I'm very thankful for this, I'm not somebody who gets tons and tons and tons of discoloration under my eyes. I don't sleep very well, my sleeping pattern is horrendous, but it doesn't show on my eyes at all, really. But I think this is quite nice, annoyingly, because I also think it's too dark for me. If they did like a very, very, very pale one, I could get on board. Because I actually quite like that. It feels very lightweight. It honestly feels like I've got nothing on my under eyes. I hate the packaging. Hate it. Kind of wish it was just in like a normal concealer packaging. Yeah. That's annoying. I will still use it. I think it would be good for colour correcting. Like, if I were to go out today, which I'm not, because I have stuff to do. Well, I'm leaving the house, but not with this makeup on. Anyway. If I were to use this, I would put this amount on and then I would go in with another lighter concealer. It would be a thin consistency, probably something like the Rimmel Multitasker, just to add a little bit of brightness. Cream blush. This is the Fast Base Blush. Cream colour for cheek and lips. I'm not putting it on my lips. In the shade Blush, I think. Anyway, I need a brush. I outright refuse to draw this on my face. If you've seen my videos, you know I don't like drawing things on my face. Does it twist? Is that how it's meant to work? Yeah, it twists up and twists back down, thankfully. I am just going to go in with my brush, pop it on there. I just don't like drawing things on my face, I'm sorry. I don't like the smell at all. Okay, I'm getting a nice flush of colour. It is looking very, very baby pink on my skin. I think that's just, honestly, my skin tone. I was expecting it to be a bit more mauvey, but I think that's my skin tone. I can't really blame the product for that. It's not their fault that I'm pale. I really don't like the smell. It sort of just has that general cosmetic-y smell. So not a fan of that. It looks quite nice. It's not as pigmented as I thought it was going to be, which I guess is a good thing and a bad thing, because I like quite a heavy blush, but also I probably wouldn't like quite a heavy blush in this shade, if that makes sense. Yeah, I actually quite like that. I would repurchase it in a different colour. I would use this again. It's given quite a nice like flush of colour. It looks nice. Now I don't have a bronzer to test in this video, so I'm just going to go in with the cream bronzer that I used yesterday. We're going to skip it. I'm also going to go in with the powder I used yesterday because I only bought one powder. So we're going to skip over these, and when we come back we'll do highlight. I should have said, if you want to see my opinion on those two products, it is the XXRevolution cream bronzer in Inspire and the Revolution pressed powder in translucent. If you want to see my opinions on those, they're in yesterday's video. My skin does not look very good. And I don't think it's the powder, because like I said, tested the powder yesterday. It is a pressed powder. Maybe this would work better with a loose powder. But my skin looks so dry. So dry. Like, honestly, I would leave the house with a lot of makeup on my face. Like, it doesn't really bother me. Most people around me don't look at my makeup. I don't think I would leave the house like this. It just doesn't look great. It also, like, there's definitely, I think the foundation may have oxidized a little bit. I'm not a fan. Highlighter, we have this. This is relatively new. This is the Revolution, I don't know what it's called. I feel like the name of it was on the sticker that I ripped off before I started filming. But anyway, it's in the shade Bronze Baddie, and I think online I was expecting it to be a little bit lighter. This might be a bit dark, but that's fine because the foundation is also a bit too dark. So it is what it is. Just going to take a little bit of this and hope that it's not too dark. Ooh. Ooh, we could be fine. Yeah, I think we're fine. Ooh, this might be the darkest highlighter I have that works on my skin tone. But I actually think that looks fine. I'm just looking at my monitor to see if I've got a cast, and I don't think I do, you know. But yeah, I would definitely have to be using a light hand with it. But I actually quite like it. I quite like that. What I'm actually going to do, because I'm not liking how my skin is looking in general, is I'm actually going to swatch this. Ooh. See, if I swatched that, I would be like, that's too dark for me. But I actually think it looks fine on my skin. Am I delusional? I can't see a cast. Look at me being bronzed. Oh no. I'm not bronzed at all, I'm very pale. Although, it's definitely not the shade for me, is it? Okay. I'm going to try and save this with setting spray. This is the Power Fix Mist by Relove by Revolution, so it does actually match the primer. Which, seeing as I don't know if the primer is causing me problems, this might not help, but I'm hoping it's going to rehydrate my face a little bit and my forehead maybe won't look like it is the back of a lizard. So yeah. Wait, no, don't spray it on your face first. Ooh, that's a nice fine mist. It does have a scent. Weirdly, a different scent to the primer. This one's more floral. I feel like it has helped a little bit. It has, oh, I'm soaking wet. It has helped a little bit. My forehead does look a little bit better. I'm going to quickly just add some colour to my lower lash line. Super simple. Going to use the exact same colours I used on the top. Mascara. No, I'm going to do my brows first. We have the Revolution Brow Pomade in the shade Medium Brown. I already have the Revolution Pro Brow Pomade in Blonde and I like it. It's just a bit too light for me. This one comes with a brush. What I will say, I'm pretty sure all the brow pomades from all the different Makeup Revolution brands are the exact same. I'm going to put that to the test, but I do think they're the exact same. Although this one comes with a brush. I'm not going to use it because I think that's unfair because I know I'm not going to like the brush. Straight up, I really quite like that. I know that brow pomades are like so 2016 and whatever, but the reason I got back into them is because they're so quick and easy to use, especially now when I actually know what I'm doing with brows. I think I can make brow pomades look a little bit better than maybe I would have done a few years ago. Also, I now shave off the tail of my brows and I do find that brow pomades are the best for drawing them back on. I know a lot of people use brow pens. I'm not confident enough in my ability to draw a straight line to use a brow pen, and I think when you're doing brow pomades you can obviously use like an angled brush like I've used today and that helps. But yeah, I think this is a much better shade for me. It may be a touch too dark, but I'd rather that than it being a bit too light, and I could always mix this one and the blonde, sort of use this one at the ends and the blondes at the front. Yeah, I actually quite like that. That's a big thumbs up. What I will say is get the Revolution one, not the Revolution Pro one, because this one's probably cheaper. And it does come with a brush. The brush is a bit thick, but I think if you were to like load up your brush and then squeeze it so that it's nice and thin, it would be fine. So if you don't have a brush, you can use this. And it does come with a little like rounded brush at the other end, which you can use for carving out your brows. I don't carve out my brows, but you can if you want. As we have the Makeup Revolution, the Waterproof Revolution Mascara. I tested the Revolution Mascara in yesterday's video and it looks like the exact same brush, just waterproof. Let's pop it on. That actually looks fine. It's not my favourite mascara. I actually think maybe I prefer this to the other one, just because this feels a little bit drier. I typically do like to wear a waterproof mascara to work, just because I find it transfers a little bit less. And this is a contender. I typically go for the Benefit Bad Girl Bang, but A, that's expensive, and B, I actually don't like it loads. So I might try using this for work. Then on my lower lashes, we have a pink mascara. I have tried the blue one. This is by Relove by Revolution Volume Pink Mascara. I've tried the blue one and I actually thought it was really fun. So let's pop this pink one on my lower lashes to match the pink we've got going on. That's so cute. What I will say is it's a very, very pale pink. It almost makes it look like I don't have lower lashes, but I think it's quite cute. Like up close, it's quite cute. It's not going to be my everyday, but for fun Instagram, YouTube, TikTok looks, I can get on board with it. I really do like that, and I enjoyed the blue one as well. They're not amazing mascaras. They're not going to do like massive amazing things for your lashes. The main selling point is the colour, and the colour is good. I almost kind of wish it was a bit of a darker pink so that it was more like a hot pink, more like what I have on my eyelids. But I think this is quite cute. Yeah, if you're looking for a coloured mascara, I can't remember how much these are, but maybe have a look at those. Finally, lip. I'm so excited to finish this video because I like how I look from afar. When I look in my monitor, I'm like, yeah, I look cute. I look at the mirror and I'm like, no, you don't. Lipstick. This is from Revolution Pro. Hydra Matte Liquid Lipstick with hyaluronic acid and peptides in the shade Creme Syrup. I think a bit shake because it looks a bit like broken up in there already, but I don't know. Maybe I'll mix it. Give it a good mix. There we go. Let's just put her on. It smells amazing. It smells like maybe white chocolate. I actually really like the shade. I think it's really nice. It's quite wearable. It's something I would wear pretty regularly. At the moment I am in a more of a lipstick over liquid lipstick sort of era. I hate when people say that, but era. It looks quite nice. It doesn't feel like a matte lipstick at all. It hasn't dried down yet, so I'll give it a few moments, but I do like the colour. It's one of those more like peachy pinks, which I quite like. Like I said, I would wear this fairly frequently. It's not applied very well. Like, that's me, not the lipstick. Like I said, it smells nice. The doe foot is actually quite nice. I didn't even look at it, but it felt nice. Yeah, it's sort of like maybe a kind of triangular shape, as in it comes to a very soft point at the end, which would made it very easy to get around the edges and things like that. I'm just terrible at applying lipstick under pressure. Yeah, I do quite like it. I feel like it maybe looks a bit odd with the eyes because the eyes are so intensely pink. Maybe if I'd used a bit more of that last shade, the sort of peachy shade, what was it called? Kombucha Kiss in the top corner. If I'd used a bit more of that, then this would tie in a bit better because it's very similar to that shade. But yeah, I quite like that. It feels very nice. There we go. I'm not going to do my run through of thoughts because I've already done it as we go, but overall, I don't like my base, okay? I don't, and I think, and the fact that it's like this area of my base, I think it is definitely the primer, foundation and powder mixing together and not working very well. I will do my best to try and figure out what it is. I will use the foundation with a different primer, use the primer with a different foundation, use the primer, use the foundation with a loose powder instead of a pressed powder, things like that. I think from afar I look fine. I like the eyes, I like the lip, I like the brows. They're not the best, but they'll do. Overall, very, very split video. I do like the blush and the highlighter that I tested. So yeah, I think it's mainly the foundation, primer and powder that I just don't think are working well together. The rest of it I genuinely think was absolutely fine. But there we go. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know if you think it's the primer, the foundation or the powder. I think it's the foundation and I will test it more and figure it out, but yeah, hopefully I can give you guys an update at some point. I'm not going to promise one because I'm actually terrible at giving you guys updates, but hopefully you'll see it in future videos and get an idea of what the problem was. But yeah, I do like how I look. Would I leave the house like this? Probably not. I think I look fine on camera. I'm just looking at my monitor. I think I look fine on camera. I think it's quite obvious in real life that the shade is wrong and my skin looks bad. So yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. I did enjoy a lot of the products, so yeah. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I normally put up 2 videos a week and it is always makeup content, so if that sounds like your type of thing, then this is a place for you. But I would like to remind you, another video will be going up tomorrow, testing a bunch more makeup, all the stuff that's in that box behind me. But anyway, hopefully the eyeshadow hasn't stained. I didn't think of that. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now. Have a great day and amazing week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!